The crystal chamber floated in space, orbiting a dead star that glowed with strange light. Inside, creatures from across the galaxy gathered together. Some looked like insects with too many eyes. Others were made of living water, kept safe inside floating tanks. Some were just clouds of gas that glowed different colors when they spoke. This was the Galactic Council, and today they were looking at maps of stars they had never visited before. Taeyang moved his 6 legs nervously as he prepared his report. He was a xenoarchaeologist, which meant he studied dead civilizations. His job was to find new planets and learn about the creatures that once lived there. Today he had something different to report. He had found a planet with living creatures on it. The council chamber grew quiet as Taeyang began to speak. His voice came through a translator that turned his clicking sounds into words everyone could understand. He showed them pictures of a small blue planet that spun around a yellow star. The planet had white clouds, green lands, and blue oceans. It looked beautiful and peaceful. This planet is called Earth by the creatures who live there, Taeyang explained. The creatures call themselves humans. They breathe oxygen like many of us. They drink water. They grow food from the ground. The planet has everything we need. Good air, clean water, and many useful metals and minerals hidden in the rocks. Hajun sat up straight when he heard this. He was young and ambitious, working as a diplomat for the Vrex Collective. But Hajun did not care much about diplomacy. He cared about power and territory. His people were warriors, and they were always looking for new planets to claim as their own. The planet sounds perfect, Hajun said loudly, his voice echoing through the chamber. What weapons do these humans have? Do they have ships that can travel between stars? Can they defend themselves? Taeyang checked his notes carefully. No, they cannot travel faster than light. They have only reached their own moon with simple rockets. They have weapons, yes, but nothing that could stop us. They fight among themselves more than anything else. They are divided into many groups that do not always agree. Perfect, Hajun said with satisfaction. Then we should claim this planet before someone else does. My people volunteer to take control of Earth. We will manage the humans and take the resources we need. Other voices joined in, agreeing with Hajun. Several warrior species began arguing about who should get the planet. Some wanted to mine the metals. Others wanted to use the water. A few wanted to study the humans like animals in a zoo. The chamber filled with noise as everyone talked at once. Then a voice spoke that made everyone go silent. It was not loud, but it carried power that made even the warriors pause. The voice belonged to Mireille, an ancient being who had lived for 12,000 years. She was pure energy now, no longer having a physical body. She glowed with soft golden light as she floated above the council floor. Stop, Mireille said simply. Before anyone makes plans for this planet, you need to know its history. This planet has a name in the old records. It has been found before. Many times before, the council members looked confused. Taeyang checked his data again, worried he had made a mistake. But I found no records of previous contact. The planet appears to be newly discovered. Are you certain, Counselor Mireille? Mireille's light pulsed slowly, the way she showed she was thinking carefully. I am certain, but the records are very old. They are kept in the Forbidden Archives, where we store information about dangerous places and terrible mistakes. This planet Earth is marked there, marked by 47 different civilizations across millions of years. Hajun laughed, but it sounded nervous. 47 civilizations visited one primitive planet? Why would they bother? And why would they mark it as forbidden? Because none of them succeeded in claiming it, Mireille answered. And most of them never came back. Every civilization that went to Earth either disappeared completely or retreated in fear. The last entry in the archives is 400 years old. It says only this: do not approach, do not contact, do not observe. Mark this system as Quarantine Red. The chamber fell into stunned silence. Quarantine Red was the highest warning level, used only 3 times in all of galactic history. It meant the danger was so great that even looking at something might bring disaster. Taeyang felt his legs trembling. But Counselor, the humans have no advanced technology. They cannot even leave their own solar system. How could they be dangerous to species that can cross the galaxy? That is exactly what makes them so dangerous, Mireille said softly. They do not need advanced technology. They have something else. Something that has defeated every species that underestimated them. Before anyone here makes any decisions about Earth, I'm ordering a complete review of the Forbidden Archives. We need to understand what we are dealing with. Hajun stood up angrily. With respect, Counselor, you are being too cautious. We cannot let fear of old stories stop us from claiming valuable territory. These humans are primitives. Surely our modern weapons and technology are far superior to whatever those ancient civilizations had. Mireille turned her glowing form toward Hajun. Her light grew brighter, showing her displeasure. Young diplomat, the civilizations that visited Earth were not weak. The Vorkai Empire controlled 600 star systems. They had weapons that could crack planets in half. They sent 100,000 soldiers to Earth. Do you know how many came back? Hajun said nothing, waiting for the answer. 0. Mireille continued. Not a single soldier returned. Not one ship escaped. The final message they sent said that the native predators were adapting to their weapons faster than they could develop new ones. The Vorkai were wiped out 3 million years ago, and the humans they fought did not even have fire yet. They were still primitive animals with simple stone tools. The council members shifted uncomfortably. Even Hajun looked less confident now. Stone tools defeated an empire? How is that possible? That is what we need to find out, Mireille declared. I am declaring a 30-day moratorium on any action toward Earth. During this time, I will personally review every record we have about this planet and these humans. Taeyang, you will assist me. Hajun, you will join us as well, since you are so eager to understand these humans. The council voted quickly, and Mireille's order became law. No one would approach Earth for 30 days. As the meeting ended and the various species began to leave, Taeyang approached Mireille quietly. Counselor, may I ask you something? Do you really believe these humans are that dangerous? They look so much like many other species we have met. They seem ordinary. Mireille's light dimmed to a soft glow the way she showed sadness. That is the problem, Taeyang. They look ordinary. They look weak. They look like easy prey. That is what every other civilization thought too, and that is why they are all gone now, while the humans are still there, growing stronger every day. Come with me to the archives. You need to see what I have seen. You need to understand what lives on that beautiful blue planet. Then you will know why I am afraid. As they left the council chamber, Taeyang looked back at the image of Earth still floating in the center of the room. It looked so peaceful, so harmless. He could not imagine what secrets it held. But soon he would learn the truth. Soon he would understand why no one invaded Earth. And that knowledge would change everything he thought he knew about the galaxy. The Eternal Library existed in a place between dimensions. It was not exactly in normal space, but it was not exactly anywhere else either. The library held every piece of knowledge from every civilization that had ever existed in the galaxy. Its shelves stretched forever in all directions, filled with books, data crystals, memory stones, and devices that no one alive remembered how to use. Taeyang, Hajun, and Mireille descended through level after level of the library. They passed through sections holding recent knowledge, then older sections, then ancient halls where dust had not been disturbed for thousands of years. Finally, they reached a massive door marked with warning symbols in 200 different languages. All the symbols said the same thing: dangerous knowledge. Enter at your own risk. Daehyun met them at the door. He was the chief librarian, a being made of living crystal that sparkled with inner light. He had guarded the forbidden archives for 800 years. When he saw Mireille, he bowed respectfully, but his voice sounded worried. Counselor Mireille, you have not visited this section in 3,000 years. What brings you to the forbidden archives today? And why do you bring others with you? We need to review all records about the planet Earth and its dominant species, humans, Mireille answered. The council is considering making contact, but I fear they do not understand what they are dealing with. Daehyun's crystal body flashed red, the way he showed alarm. Earth, the death world. Counselor, surely you are not serious. That planet has been marked as quarantine red for centuries. No one should go near it. That is why we must review the records, Mireille said firmly. Open the archives, please. Daehyun hesitated, then placed his crystalline hand on the door. It opened slowly, revealing a dark room filled with floating data displays. As they entered, lights began to activate, showing information from dozens of different civilizations. All of it was about Earth. Taeyang began reading the first entry. It was 3 million years old, written by the Vorkai Empire. The Vorkai had been powerful warriors who conquered planets for resources. They found Earth during what humans would later call the Pliocene epoch. Back then, early human ancestors were just beginning to walk upright and use simple tools. The Vorkai report started confidently. They described Earth as rich in minerals and perfect for mining. They landed with 100,000 soldiers equipped with advanced weapons and energy shields. Their plan was simple: remove any dangerous animals, set up mining operations, and strip the planet of valuable resources. The first year went well. The second year, problems started. The native predators were attacking their camps: big cats, wolves, and the early humans themselves. The Vorkai had weapons that could destroy mountains, so they were not worried. They killed thousands of the native creatures, but the attacks did not stop. They increased. The report said something that made Taeyang's skin crawl. The natives are learning. They avoid our weapons. They attack only when we are weak. They do not seem to fear death. They just keep coming. The final entry was 2 years later. We are leaving. We have lost too many. The primitive creatures hunt us now. They have learned to use our own weapons against us. They work together in ways we do not understand. Recommendation: never return to this planet. The species here are too dangerous. Hajun read the report twice, not believing it. Primitive humans with stone tools defeated a galactic empire? That is impossible. Read the next one, Mireille said quietly. The next report was 80,000 years old, from a civilization called the Jurel Collective. They were slavers who traveled the galaxy capturing primitive species to sell as workers. They found Earth during the Stone Age, when humans had spread across Africa and were just beginning to explore other continents. The Jurel captured 5,000 humans and put them in holding facilities. They planned to train them for simple labor work. But within 3 months, the humans had escaped. They had watched their captors, learned how the locks worked, and picked them open using pieces of wire. Then they stole weapons, freed others, and started fighting back. The Jurel report ended with a warning: do not attempt to enslave this species. They learn too quickly. They cooperate too well. They refuse to accept captivity. We barely escaped with our lives. The technology we left behind may accelerate their development. Future civilizations should avoid this planet. Taeyang looked at Hajun, who had gone very quiet. They continued reading. Entry after entry told similar stories. 12,000 years ago, a species called the Koryaks tried biological warfare. They released diseases designed to wipe out humanity completely. The diseases killed millions of humans, but some humans survived. Their immune systems adapted and became stronger. Within a few generations, humans were immune to the diseases. The Koryaks fled, terrified of what they had created. A species of traders visited Earth 5,000 years ago. They wanted to exchange technology for resources. But humans stole the technology, reverse-engineered it, and improved it. Within decades, they had surpassed what the traders gave them. The traders left quickly, realizing that humans would soon be competitors rather than customers. The reports went on and on. 47 different civilizations, 47 different approaches. Warriors, scientists, slavers, traders, colonists. Every single one failed. Every single one fled. Some disappeared completely, their ships never returning home. Then Jiwan arrived. She was a military strategist from the Torgoth Dominion, a species that had never lost a war in 3,000 years. She had been invited to review the military aspects of the reports. As she read, her confident expression slowly changed to one of concern, then fear. She began analyzing the tactical reports carefully. Every civilization noted the same patterns. Humans adapted quickly to new threats. They used whatever materials they had available as weapons. They worked together in large groups. They never surrendered, even when losing. Most terrifying of all, they escalated conflicts beyond what was reasonable. One report described a battle where humans were losing badly. Instead of surrendering, they destroyed their own resources so the invaders could not use them. They burned their own crops. They poisoned their own water. They made their land worthless. The invading army had to leave because there was nothing left to take. Jiwan found another report that made her hands shake. A species called the Telvanni had bombed a human city from orbit, killing millions. The surviving humans tracked down every Telvanni in their solar system. It took them 50 years, but they hunted down every single ship and every single soldier. The Telvanni Empire fell because they made humans angry. This is madness, Jiwan whispered. These humans do not fight to win. They fight to make sure their enemy loses. They will sacrifice everything just for revenge. What kind of species does that? A species that evolved on a death world, Mireille answered. Look at the final report. It is the most recent, from only 400 years ago. The last report came from the Zelthari Empire, masters of psychological warfare. They had infiltrated human society during Earth's medieval period. Their plan was to turn humans against each other, to make them destroy themselves through internal conflict. They planted agents who started wars, spread rumors, and created divisions between human groups. The Zelthari watched as humans fought terrible wars against each other. They thought their plan was working, but then something unexpected happened. When the Zelthari agents revealed themselves, expecting humans to beg for peace, the humans did something shocking. All the warring human groups immediately stopped fighting each other and united against the Zelthari. The report's final words were chilling. Subject species has weaponized their own conflicts. They practice warfare on each other constantly, making themselves stronger. External threats do not divide them. External threats unify them completely. They know we are here now. They will remember. They will prepare. They will come for us eventually. Recommendation: Quarantine Red. Do not engage. Do not contact. Do not even observe. Pray they never develop faster than light travel. The room fell silent as they finished reading. Daehyun spoke softly. Now you understand why this section is forbidden. Humans have a classification that has only been used 3 times in galactic history. They are Category 12, Deathworld Apex Persistence Predator. They are the result of millions of years of evolution on a planet that tried to kill them every single day. Hajun sat down heavily, his warrior pride completely gone. We thought they were weak, because they have not reached the stars yet. But they are not weak. They are the most dangerous thing in the galaxy and they do not even know it yet. Exactly, Mireille said. And now we must decide. Do we leave them alone? Do we try to stop them? Or do we try to become their friends before they see us as enemies? Because one thing is certain. Humans are coming to the stars. It is only a matter of time, and when they arrive, the galaxy will never be the same. The Galactic Council chamber had never been so loud. Creatures of every shape and size argued with each other, their voices creating chaos through the translation systems. The information from the Forbidden Archives had spread to all the member species, and now everyone had an opinion about what to do with Earth and its dangerous inhabitants. 3 groups had formed, each believing their approach was the only correct one. The tension in the chamber was so thick that even the peaceful species were showing signs of stress. Hajun stood with the first group, though he looked much less confident than before. After seeing the archives, his enthusiasm for conquest had changed to something else: fear. But it was fear that made him more dangerous, not less. He spoke loudly to the assembled warriors and aggressive species. We must act now while humans are still confined to their planet. Yes, they are dangerous. Yes, they have defeated others before. But those civilizations did not know what they were facing. We know the truth now. We can prepare. We can attack with overwhelming force before they develop the technology to fight back across the stars. Jiwan stood beside him, but her reasons were different. As a military strategist, she had calculated the risks. If humans are this dangerous now, imagine what they will become with faster-than-light travel. Imagine them with energy weapons. Imagine them with shields and warships. They will become unstoppable. Our only chance is to stop them before they leave their solar system. The second group gathered around Taiyang, who had become much quieter since visiting the archives. His scientific curiosity had been replaced by caution. He spoke to the older, wiser species who valued knowledge and patience. We should not attack them. That would only prove to humans that the galaxy is hostile. Instead, we should establish a complete quarantine. No contact, no observation. Create an exclusion zone 50 light-years around their star system. Let them develop naturally, on their own timeline. Perhaps in 1,000,000 years they will have evolved past their aggressive nature. Many species nodded at this suggestion. It seemed safe. It seemed wise. Keep the dangerous predators in their cage and hope they never break free. The third group was smaller but growing. Ambassador Hyunwoo led them. He represented the peaceful unity, a federation of species who believed in diplomacy above all else. He had spent days studying human broadcasts, learning about their culture, and he had reached a different conclusion. Both the aggressive approach and the isolation approach are based on fear. Hyunwoo said calmly, but fear is what caused all the previous failures. Those civilizations approached humans as enemies or as subjects to control. What if we approach them as equals? What if we offered friendship instead of conquest? Hajun laughed bitterly. Friendship? With a species that has destroyed 47 civilizations? You are suggesting we invite the galaxy's most dangerous predator to join us? Yes, Hyunwoo replied simply. Because the archives show something else that everyone is ignoring. Humans only become dangerous when threatened. Every report shows that humans were peaceful until someone attacked them first. They defended themselves. They did not start any of those conflicts. Perhaps their greatest weapon is not their aggression but their loyalty. If we can become their allies, they might become our greatest defenders instead of our greatest threat. Before the argument could continue, Mi-Ray called for silence. Her golden light brightened, commanding attention. She had been watching the debates carefully, saying nothing until now. But she had prepared something that would change the discussion completely. Before we decide, you need to see what I have seen, Mi-Ray announced. For the past 30 days, I have been monitoring human broadcasts, their radio signals, their television shows, their internet communications. I have been learning who these humans really are. Beyond the military reports and the warnings, the chamber fell silent as Mi-Ray began showing images from Earth. The council members saw human cities, human families, human children playing. They saw art galleries and concert halls. They saw libraries and schools. They saw humans laughing, crying, helping each other. Look at this, Mi-Ray said, showing a video of humans rescuing animals from a natural disaster. They risk their lives to save creatures from other species. They cry when animals suffer. They adopt pets and treat them like family members. They have organizations dedicated to protecting endangered species on their own planet. She showed them human stories, movies where humans made friends with aliens, books about exploring the cosmos peacefully, songs about unity and hope, philosophy about the value of all life. The council watched, fascinated despite themselves. Humans have capacity for great violence, yes. Mi-Ray continued, but they also have capacity for great compassion. They are not monsters. They are survivors who learned that being kind requires more courage than being cruel. Every human child is taught to dream about the stars. They imagine a future where they meet aliens and become friends. This is the species you want to destroy or avoid. Then General Subin stepped forward. She was the head of the Kryn Defense Forces, known for her logical mind and strategic thinking. She had spent the 30 days running calculations and simulations. What she had discovered troubled her deeply. I have analyzed what would happen if we attacked Earth. Subin began, her voice steady but grave. My team ran 1,000 different battle simulations. In 800 of them, we win the initial attack. We destroy their cities. We eliminate most of their population. But here is the problem. Humans are already spreading beyond Earth. They have stations in orbit. They have bases on their moon. They have robots on Mars and probes beyond their solar system. She displayed maps showing human expansion through their solar system. Even if we kill 99% of humans, some will survive. Humans have no centralized government that we can eliminate. They have hundreds of nations, thousands of cities, millions of small communities. They are decentralized by nature. You cannot destroy them completely without destroying every human everywhere. And if even a few survive, they will remember. The chamber grew very quiet as Subin continued. My simulations show that if we attack them now, we might set back their development by a century or two. But they will recover. They always recover. And when they do, they will have one goal: revenge. They will develop faster than light travel specifically to hunt us. They will not stop until every member of the attacking species is eliminated. The war will never end because humans never forget and they never forgive those who hurt their families. Hajun looked sick. Then what do? We cannot attack them. We cannot ignore them. What choice do we have? At that moment, a live video feed appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed a human woman in a laboratory on Mars. This was researcher Young Mi, a xenobiologist studying the Martian surface. The council watched in real time as she made a discovery. Young Mi had found microscopic life in a soil sample, ancient bacteria that had somehow survived beneath the frozen surface. The council watched as tears rolled down her face. Tears of joy. She was celebrating the discovery of life beyond Earth. Not valuable resources, not territory. Just simple, tiny life. Then they watched as she carefully preserved the sample and sealed it away. She called her colleagues and gave strict orders. No one was to disturb the bacteria. No one was to contaminate the site. Humans had found alien life. and their first instinct was to protect it, to study it carefully, to make sure they did no harm. The council chamber remained silent for a long moment. Then Hyunwoo spoke softly. That is who humans are. Yes, they can be the galaxy's most dangerous predators, but they choose to be protectors instead. They choose compassion over cruelty. The question is not what are they capable of. The question is who do we want them to become? If we treat them as enemies, they will be enemies. If we treat them as friends, perhaps they will be the greatest friends the galaxy has ever known. Mireille glowed brighter. The council will vote. But before you do, remember this. Humans have a saying. They say that the most dangerous person in the room is not the one who looks dangerous. It is the one who could hurt you easily, but chooses not to. Humans are that person. They have the capacity to be our worst nightmare, but they are choosing to be better. The question is, do we give them a chance? Or do we confirm their worst fears about the universe? The vote began. 3 options displayed in the center of the chamber: attack, quarantine, diplomacy. The future of 2 civilizations hung in the balance. But even as the vote progressed, no one in the chamber knew that time was running out, because while they debated, someone else had already made their decision, and that decision would force everyone's hand. Deep in the shadow of a dead moon, 50 warships waited in silence. They were painted black to avoid detection, their weapons charged and ready. This was the fleet of the Crimson Mandate, an organization that believed the galaxy should be kept pure and safe by eliminating dangerous species before they could spread. Commander Jin-ho stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the star maps carefully. He was tall and covered in dark scales, a member of a species that valued strength and decisive action above all else. He had listened to the council's endless debates with growing frustration. While they talked and argued, the human threat grew stronger every day. Jin-ho had made his decision. He would not wait for the council's permission. He would save the galaxy himself by destroying Earth before humans could become a threat. His fleet was ready. His weapons could crack a planet in half. He had planned everything carefully. Strike fast, destroy the planet, and retreat before anyone could respond. Dr. Bora entered the bridge, carrying her research data. She was a geneticist who had been secretly studying human DNA samples collected from old crash sites on Earth. The Crimson Mandate had sent scout probes to Earth years ago, before the Council knew about them. Those probes had collected soil samples that contained traces of human genetic material. "Commander, you need to see this," Bora said urgently. "I have finished analyzing human DNA. What I found is terrifying. Humans have genetic markers from at least 6 extinction-level events. Their planet has tried to kill them with ice ages, volcanoes, meteor strikes, and climate disasters. Each time, almost all life died. But humans survived. Not just survived. They adapted." She displayed complex genetic charts that Jin-ho barely understood. "Look at this sequence. This shows rapid evolutionary adaptation that appears nowhere else in the known galaxy. When humans face extinction, their population drops to very small numbers. But those survivors carry genetic changes that help them survive the crisis. Then their population explodes again. They are specifically evolved to survive extinction itself." Jin-ho waved his hand dismissively. "That is exactly why we must destroy them now. Before they spread. Before their evolutionary advantages make them unstoppable. Your research confirms that I am right to act." "No, you do not understand," Bora insisted. "If we attack them, we will not kill them all. Some will survive, and those survivors will be the strongest, smartest, and most adaptable humans. We will literally be selecting for the most dangerous humans and giving them a reason to hunt us forever." Before Jin-ho could respond, pilot Jae-sung rushed onto the bridge. He had been forced to join this mission against his will because he was the only one who had actually been near Earth. He looked frightened and angry. "Commander, this is madness. I have tried to tell you what I saw. I spent only 3 hours in orbit around Earth, and the humans detected my ship. They launched 3 intercept missions using primitive rockets. Their pilots deliberately damaged their own spacecraft to change course and ram my ship. They were willing to die just to stop me from escaping." Jae-sung pulled up the recordings from his ship. The council members watched as human spacecraft came at his vessel like missiles. When their targeting systems failed, the human pilots manually steered their ships. When their weapons stopped working, they prepared to collide with his ship. He had barely escaped by jumping to faster than light speed early, damaging his engines in the process. They do not think like we do, Jae-sung said desperately. They do not calculate odds or consider surrender. They see a threat to their home and they will do anything to stop it. Anything. If we attack Earth, even if we destroy it, the survivors will spend generations hunting us. My people, your people, everyone in this fleet. We will all be targets. Jin-ho listened to both warnings with growing anger. He had not come this far to turn back now. The council was weak, paralyzed by fear and sentiment. Someone had to make the hard decisions. Someone had to protect the galaxy from the human threat. I have heard enough, Jin-ho announced to his fleet. We launch in 1 hour. We will jump to the Sol system, destroy Earth and Mars simultaneously, and retreat before the council can interfere. The humans will be eliminated. The galaxy will be safe. History will remember us as heroes who had the courage to do what others would not. The fleet began final preparations. Weapons were charged to full power. Planet-killing bombs were loaded into launch tubes. Navigation systems calculated the jump to Earth's solar system. Jin-ho felt satisfied. He was doing the right thing. The difficult thing. The necessary thing. But thousands of light years away, alarms were sounding in the council chamber. Mireille had sensors monitoring all known extremist groups. She detected the energy signatures of the Crimson Mandate fleet as they prepared to jump. She immediately understood what was happening. The Crimson Mandate is launching an attack on Earth, Mireille announced, her light flashing red with urgency. They will reach the Sol system in less than 3 hours. We must intercept them immediately. Chaos erupted in the council chamber. Some species called for immediate military response. Others argued about legal procedures. But Taeyang, Hajun, Jiwon, and several others did not waste time debating. They ran to the fastest ships available and launched immediately. Mireille contacted them as they raced toward Earth. Listen carefully. If the Crimson Mandate attacks Earth, even if they fail, the damage will be catastrophic. Not just to humans, to us. Humans will learn they are not alone in the universe. They will learn that the galaxy is hostile. They will militarize completely. They will develop weapons and ships designed specifically to fight us. We will create exactly the monster we fear. Can we reach them in time? Hajun asked as his ship jumped to faster than light speed. I do not know, Mireille admitted. But we must try. Everything depends on stopping this attack. The Crimson Mandate fleet jumped to the Sol system right on schedule. They emerged at the edge of human detection range, expecting to take the primitive humans by complete surprise. Their sensors showed Earth spinning peacefully below, unaware of the doom approaching. Jin-ho smiled coldly. Target Earth and Mars. Prepare to fire on my command. Make this quick and clean. But then alarms began sounding across his fleet. Impossible readings appeared on every sensor. The humans had detected them. Somehow, the primitive species had seen ships at the very edge of their solar system. How was that possible? Jin-ho did not know that humans had been watching for threats from space for decades. They had programs designed to find dangerous asteroids. They had telescopes pointed in every direction. They had satellites and radar systems and detection networks. Earth might not have faster-than-light travel, but they knew how to see danger coming. On Earth, Dr. Sun-hee stared at her screen in shock. She worked at the SETI program, searching for signs of alien life. She had dreamed of this moment her whole life. First contact with an alien civilization. But the readings she saw were not peaceful. These ships were approaching fast and their energy signatures looked like weapons charging. She hit the emergency alert button. Within minutes, every space agency on Earth knew. Within an hour, every government knew. Within 2 hours, every human military force on the planet was preparing for war. Captain Yejun commanded the Unity space station, humanity's orbital defense platform. It was not designed to fight aliens. It was designed to deflect asteroids that might hit Earth. But Yejun was looking at his weapons and thinking about how to use them anyway. President Nayang convened an emergency meeting of all Earth's leaders. For the first time in history, every nation on Earth agreed on something immediately. Whatever those ships wanted, Earth would stand united against them. Old enemies became instant allies. Weapons that had been pointed at each other were now turned toward space. Jin-ho watched in amazement as Earth transformed before his eyes. Satellites were repositioning. Rockets were launching. Space stations were arming themselves with whatever they had available. The humans were not panicking. They were preparing to fight. Jae-sung spoke urgently from his station. Commander, we should leave now, before they launch whatever defenses they have. We can retreat and come back with more ships. No, Jinho said stubbornly. We are committed now. Fire all weapons. Destroy Earth. The Crimson Mandate fleet launched their planet-killing weapons toward Earth. Massive missiles that could crack a world in half. But before those weapons could reach their target, something appeared in space between the fleet and Earth. Council ships, arriving just in time, led by Mirei, Hajun, Taiyang, and Jiwan. The battle had begun. The future of two civilizations would be decided in the next few hours. Earth was about to learn they were not alone in the universe, and the galaxy was about to learn why you should never underestimate humans, even when they look defenseless. Space above Earth erupted into chaos. The Crimson Mandate's missiles streaked toward the planet, carrying enough destructive power to shatter continents. But they never reached their target. The Council's intercept fleet appeared in flashes of light, their weapons cutting through space to destroy the incoming threats. Mirei's voice boomed across all communication channels, powerful enough to override every system. Crimson Mandate Fleet, this is Counselor Mirei. You are ordered to stand down immediately. You are in violation of galactic law. Cease your attack or face the full might of the Council. Commander Jinho, however, was beyond listening to reason. His scales bristled with rage as he realized his surprise attack had failed. He had come too far to turn back now. All ships continue the attack. Ignore the Council. They are traitors to galactic safety. But while the aliens fought each other in space, something else was happening. Something that would shock both sides equally. The humans were not waiting to be saved. They were fighting back. Captain Yejun watched the battle from the Unity station. He had never imagined using his equipment as weapons, but humans had always been good at adapting. His station had powerful lasers meant for cutting up asteroids. Now he aimed them at the alien warships. His station had mass drivers for launching cargo. Now he loaded them with chunks of metal to fire at the enemy. Fire everything we have, Yejun commanded. We do not know which aliens are friends and which are enemies yet, but we know that some of them just tried to kill our planet. Show them that Earth does not surrender. From Earth, hundreds of missiles launched into space. They were nuclear weapons designed for war between human nations. Now they were aimed at aliens instead. They were primitive compared to the advanced weapons the aliens possessed, but there were so many of them. The humans were throwing everything they had at the threat. President Na Young stood in the command center, watching the battle unfold on screens around her. Her advisors argued about what to do, but she had already made her decision. She grabbed the microphone and began broadcasting on every frequency Earth could produce. Her message was simple but powerful. To whoever is out there, this is President Na Young of Earth. We do not know who you are. We do not know why you are here, but we know some of you just attacked our home. We will defend ourselves with everything we have. If you want peace, then leave peacefully, and we will remember this day as the beginning of friendship. But if you want war, then know this. We will never stop fighting. We will learn who you are. We will find where you come from, and we will make sure your worlds understand the same fear you brought to ours. The message was broadcast in mathematics and simple patterns that any advanced species could decode. Every alien ship in the solar system heard it. The Crimson Mandate heard it. The Council heard it. And despite everything happening, they all stopped for a moment to process what they had just witnessed. Humanity, faced with extinction, had not begged for mercy. They had not tried to flee. They had issued a threat, a promise of retaliation that would span generations if necessary. The archives had been right. Humans never surrendered. Ji-1 watched from her warship as humans fought alongside them without even knowing who their allies were. She saw human spacecraft deliberately crash into Crimson Mandate ships when their weapons failed. She saw human pilots sacrifice their lives to protect their planet. As a warrior herself, she recognized true courage when she saw it. She opened a communication channel directly to the Unity station. Captain Yejun, this is Commander Ji-1 of the Galactic Council. We are not your enemies. We came to stop the attack on your world. We are fighting on the same side. Yejun looked at his communications officer in surprise. An alien was calling them. An alien was claiming to be friendly. He made a quick decision. If you are truly our friends, then help us destroy those ships attacking our planet. We can talk about peace after the battle is won. Ji-1 allowed herself a small smile, a practical response. She liked these humans already. All Council ships coordinate with human forces. Target the Crimson Mandate vessels. Protect Earth at all costs. The battle turned decisively against the Crimson Mandate. They were fighting both the Council fleet and the surprisingly fierce human defense. Several of their ships were destroyed. Others were damaged and retreating. Jinho's flagship took a direct hit from a human nuclear missile that somehow penetrated his shields. His ship began spinning out of control. In the chaos, pilot Jae Sung made his choice. He had been forced to participate in this attack against his will. Now he sabotaged his own ship's weapon systems and broadcast to the entire Crimson Mandate fleet. This attack is wrong. These humans are defending their home. We are the aggressors here. I will not participate in genocide. Any ship that wants to survive should surrender now. Several ships immediately powered down their weapons and requested asylum from the Council. Others tried to flee but were intercepted. Within an hour, the battle was over. The Crimson Mandate fleet was defeated. Earth was saved. But everything had changed forever. In the aftermath, the Council ships maintained a respectful distance from Earth while repairs were made. Mireille requested permission to send a delegation to meet with Earth's leaders. President Na-young agreed but insisted the meeting happen on the Unity Station in neutral space, not on Earth itself. Ambassador Hyun-woo led the diplomatic team. He floated into the Unity Station meeting room where President Na-young waited with her advisors and Captain Ye-jun. The moment was tense. This was first contact, but it had started with violence instead of peace. President Na-young, Hyun-woo began carefully. I am Ambassador Hyun-woo of the Galactic Council. On behalf of 847 civilized species, I offer our deepest apologies. The attack on your world was unauthorized and illegal. The faction responsible has been arrested. We came to stop them, not to harm you. Na-young studied the alien ambassador carefully. Then she spoke in the measured tone of someone who had just learned their entire understanding of the universe was wrong. We appreciate your help, but we have questions. Many questions. Starting with, how long have you known about Earth, and why did that group want to destroy us? Hyun-woo decided that honesty was the only path forward. He told them everything. About the Galactic Council. About the Forbidden Archives. About the 47 civilizations that had visited Earth before. About the debates over whether to contact humanity or leave them alone, about why some aliens feared humans so much that they wanted to eliminate the threat. President Na-young listened to it all without interrupting. When he finished, she sat in silence for a long time. Then she smiled, but it was not a happy smile. So let me understand this correctly. We are considered the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Multiple civilizations have tried to conquer us or eliminate us throughout history, and your council has been watching us, debating our fate, while keeping us in the dark about our own history. Hyun-woo shifted uncomfortably. When you say it like that, it sounds very bad. But yes, that is essentially correct. The council was divided on how to approach you. Some wanted to protect you, some wanted to avoid you, and some, as you saw, wanted to destroy you. What does the council want now? Na-young asked directly. We would like to offer Earth membership in the Galactic Council as a protected developing species. You would have access to our knowledge and technology. You would be under our protection. In exchange, you would agree to certain guidelines about expansion and weapons development. Na-young shook her head firmly. No, we decline that offer. The ambassador looked shocked. You decline? But this is an incredible opportunity. We are offering you protection and knowledge. You are offering us a cage, Na-young corrected. You want to control how we develop. You want to decide when we are ready to be equals. But we are already equals. We just proved that. We defended our world against a galactic fleet using primitive technology. We will continue to develop on our own timeline. However, we do want to establish embassies and cultural exchanges. We want to learn from you and teach you about us. We want trade and friendship. But we will not be treated as children who need protection. Hyun-woo considered this carefully. Then he did something unprecedented. He laughed. It was a sound of genuine respect and amusement. President Na-young, you have just given me the most human answer possible. You refuse to be underestimated even after we showed you how powerful the galaxy is. Very well. I will present your terms to the council, but I think they will agree. After today, no one will make the mistake of treating humans as anything less than equals. Months passed. Embassies were established. Tae-yang moved to Earth as the first alien ambassador. Fascinated by human culture and history, Ha-jun joined him. humbled by what he had witnessed and eager to learn from the species he had once wanted to conquer. Dr. Bora came too, hoping to study human genetics and biology in partnership with human scientists. One evening, Captain Yejun and Commander Jiwon sat together in the Unity Station's observation deck, looking down at Earth. They had become unlikely friends, a human and an alien warrior sharing respect for each other's courage. "I was afraid of your species," Jiwon admitted. "The archives made humans sound like monsters, unstoppable predators who could not be reasoned with. We are not monsters," Yejun replied, "but we are survivors. Our